Well, staying in Rome, several hundred church communicators are there for a 3-day gathering on how best to spread the Christian message to a secular world. The summit is hosted by the Pontifical University of the Holy Cross. Topics include, can Christian culture inspire a weary society, and meeting the challenge of being a listening organization. Joining us now from Rome is Professor Jim Macnamara from the University of Technology, Sydney, Australia. Sir, thank you so much for your time today. If you don't mind, could you tell us more about this seminar and the main purpose?
The theme of the seminar is listening and relevance, focusing on the church. And it's a very relevant theme for today. In my presentation, I'm a researcher working specifically in the area of how organizations listen, or in some cases don't listen.
And I understand that you were one of the speakers at the conference today. Can you tell us more about your message and the theme you focused on?
The key message in my research talks about organizational listening. And so we all know that interpersonal listening is important, listening directly to humans. But of course, organizations, large organizations in particular, have to listen to people across distance and time and space. And so they have to listen through to emails, text messages, complaints, submissions to consultations, and so forth. So organizational listening is much more than simply what we can do with our ears. And so I talked a lot about how we receive and analyze data that we receive from people, where people are speaking through those various mechanisms, whether it's social media or submissions. They need to be analyzed. We need to understand what people are saying, and that's a quite different form of listening that organizations need to do.
Yeah, and that is one of the focal points, of course, of this week's summit is listening, and especially in the world of communication. Talk to us about how important listening is as a value and something that society needs to consider more of.
It's very interesting that the definition of communication, whether you go back to the Latin roots of the term or look at a modern dictionary, it's not just about transmitting information to people. Communication is about exchanging information. So fundamentally, communication means speaking and listening. But so often in an organizational context, organizations focus on spreading their message and distributing their message, and we spend too little time. And this is a common theme from research. We see it's a common theme across government, across corporations, across even NGOs, and sometimes across churches.
Well, Professor Macnamara, thank you so much for your time today. This was fascinating. We appreciate it.